Welcome back to the Nerdery. I'm JD.
And I'm Jimmy.
And this is Reviews Tuesday. That's right. This week I have God Complex #1. It's a bit of a throwback. And to go with that one, I have Dark Knight's Metal #3. Another one's a couple weeks old. Warframe #2. And Doomsday Clock #1.
I also have Doomsday Clock #1. I've got the lenticular cover. Check out our live show for a better shot.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job with the...
You gotta wiggle it in a circle on camera to make it work.
What did we determine that was? Anyway. I've also got Batman, The Batman Who Laughs, Dark Knights. This was awesome. The Punisher, The Platoon, issue 3 from Max Comics, which is their Marvel's adult publication. Still going. Green Lantern and Silver Surfer. This is a prestige issue that JD has loaned me to read. Says it is the only crossover comic between Marvel that apparently is still held as legitimate between the two companies.
Yes.
So it's canon. Crazy. Go ahead, man. Where do you want to start?
All right. I'm going to kick off with God Complex #1. It was a Top Cow book, and it looked interesting. I heard a little bit of buzz about it, so I wanted to see what it was about. It's very philosophical in a way, but it's a detective comic as well. And at the same time, it's kind of got some hints of the Matrix thrown in it. And I have issue 2. I haven't read it yet, though. But I am really enjoying this. It's just all around neat.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was like William Gibson derived.
I have no idea. It was just one of those things. It looks really cool. And actually it has this very small synopsis on the front. In the futuristic city of Delphi, a young digital forensics investigator named Seneca finds himself embroiled in the bizarre murders of 3 church acolytes. Guided by his cryptic mentor, the ruler named Hermes, Seneca uncovers a stunning conspiracy and a mystery that will turn his entire world upside down. And it's, like I said, it's very interesting. It's very technical. Take your time to read it. Make sure you properly digest everything. But, yeah, I'm going to give that a solid 3.7 capes.
3.7?
3.7.
Very nice.
We're going to see how issue #2 goes, and if I really enjoy it up to issue 4, then I'll actually just continue on with it.
So they essentially hooked you for another one.
Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal.
Moving on to Dark Knight's Metal #3. We finally found out who the real key is to everything going on. And it's not who you think. Not even a little bit. It was all a fallacy to get to the person who's really at the center of it all. But this is an absolutely amazing series. Felt terrible that I didn't get this the week it came out. But if you're not reading Metal, you are missing almost everything going on in the DC universe right now.
Yeah. And then the other half of everything that's going on in the DC universe is
Doomsday Clock.
Yeah. But I think you're going to hit up Warframe first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Warframe.
I'm a huge Warframe fan, a huge Warframe player. Be streaming some games coming up this week and guiding you through the planes and how to get along and how to get into that quickly. And then I found out Warframe was putting out a comic book. And I was like, yes, I have to read it. And it's going to be published by Top Cow.
Yeah.
Even more reason I got to read it. Matt Hawkins is writing it. Yeah, it's mandatory. There's no option for me. I absolutely have to read this comic. And I was really curious how far along in the story this was going to go. Would it be all the way up to Plains of Eidolon? In this issue, we find out 100% for sure, yes. Because they make a direct reference to the city that you start off in Plains of Eidolon, Cetus. So
it's a nice intro.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and if you want all the lore and what's going on in the Warframe universe and who these characters are and where they come from, this is probably the best way I've found to learn it. Yeah, you can go through and you can play hours and hours and hours of game time and you can get all that information, but this is far, far faster. And I know a lot of people don't have the time to put forward into the game to get all that lore. So yeah, pick up the comic. It's absolutely amazing. And $3.99, it's a good deal. Moving on to my last one this week, Doomsday Clock, number 112, is a little bit pricey for DC. $4.99 is one of their most expensive books they have coming out right now.
I would say for the artwork and the size of the issue, well worth it.
Oh, definitely. Definitely worth it. I'm not going to spoil anything here. You see a lot of Rorschach. See a lot of a couple other characters from the Watchmen. And find out who's being tormented all by this at the moment.
You know, I think there's something to be said about the Rorschach. Well, Rorschach is supposedly dead.
Yeah.
And we saw Dr. Manhattan
kill him.
Disintegrate him.
Yeah.
So who is this? This can't be.
Yeah, that's something that's like really, really got me hooked right now. But this one's definitely cranking to 11.
Actually, I'm looking at the pants.
The pants.
The pants.
I haven't really looked that much at the pants.
Just throwing that out there.
I'm going to have to go back and reread this. And this is another book that you do want to take your time. Make sure you're digesting every panel properly.
There's a lot of Rorschach internal dialogue.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
the journal entries like what we saw in the original.
Yeah.
The original series.
And it was amazing. Beautiful, beautiful piece, man. If you're a fan of The Watchmen and you want to see them try and transition these characters into the DCU, I think they're off to a swimming start.
Oh, yeah.
So, something to check out. Green Lantern, Silver Surfer. This was published. Holy crap, man. When was this? 97, 96?
Somewhere in there, I believe.
I think this was probably like the lead up to Axis 2. Because you have the box at the end. And I think there had something to be significant about that box. But anyway. Green Lantern, Silver Surfer, as stated earlier, this is like the only recognized canon crossover between the two universes. Pretty cool. You get to hear about Echoes of Galactus. You get to see Thanos and Cyborg Superman.
Yes.
Basically deal with these two characters. It's great. Thought it was a really good story. It was wordy. You got to see how these characters interacted, how they dealt with the people they were having to negotiate with. Even Parallax shows up. Parallax Hal Jordan shows up and has a talk with Silver Surfer. And I guess the hero in him that was still there, Surfer saw it. And he was like, okay, this guy just wants to help people.
Yeah.
I mean, he's tortured like me. No, it's a really good book. And if you can find this Prestige issue, pick it up. It's awesome.
And it has gotten harder and harder to find because people do really love this book.
Yeah, I would say it's a good underground fave. Punisher, the Platoon, issue 3. This has been an awesome outing into the life of Frank Castle before he becomes the Punisher, and this is going from the history of him being in Vietnam, and you see him, put in an LT position at a hill. And like this issue, he's dealing with trying to get them better armaments because they're having to defend the hill. And he actually goes and requisitioned a bunch of decommissioned service rifles that were standard issue before because they were more accurate. They were only single shots. But the M16 had so many problems jamming and all that crap. So he actually went through the channels to wreck those rifles. Told him keep the M16s because if somebody higher up shows up,
you want to have those.
We got to hide the old ones away so they don't take them from us. This is a really good book, and it's basically a guy is trying to write a biography on Frank Castle, and he's interviewing his old Nam buddies. But they're telling the story of how they met Frank Castle and how they served with him in Vietnam. It's awesome books. Very cerebral in some aspects, and it also looks at the aspects of the war and how it went in the eyes of the soldiers.
What do you rate these?
I'm going to rate Green Lantern, Silver Surfer 4.5 chimichangas. Definitely ranking Punisher the Platoon. It's a great series. 5 chimichangas. And I'll just say it straight off. Batman Who Laughs is giving me... this motherfucker gave me heartburn because every page... like 5 pages in, I was already at 5 chimichangas, and I don't know how many. This has got to be like what, 20 pages.
24, I believe.
I was overstuffed with some of the worst chimichangas ever, but they were so delicious. And by worse, I mean I'm probably going to end up having indigestion later from this one. Every page was so well done and so fucked up. You couldn't look away. It was like a train wreck. And every one of these fucking tie-ins that has come out has been like that.
Yeah.
It's been gut wrenching. It's like you see Bruce Wayne being transformed into something horrible because of
fear.
And this is like it's so good, but it's so fucking bad.
Yeah.
It is like the worst case fucking scenario you would see Batman in, and dear God, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And it's a great story.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's magnificent. I'm like, my chimichanga meter is off the fucking charts on this one.
So we're cranking it up to 11 and breaking off the knob.
This whole Dark Metals tie-in explaining these Batmen and Batwomen and breaking it down the way they have, it's quite a journey, sir.
Yeah, it is.
I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So off the charts, I crank it up. Yeah, break the knob off. Stuff the last chimichanga in, and ask for a wheelbarrow, 'cause I was done.
It's like ordering too much on your Subway sandwich. Do you want me to put it in a bucket? Because I can't even close it now.
It was like that situation where Homer Simpson was in hell, and the Flanders Devil is over here feeding him donuts from a machine, and he's just sitting there just going, more. Except I'm not Homer Simpson, and after like the second or third serving, I'm like, no, fuck no. But it's so good.
Yeah. All right, so what do you think about Doomsday Clock?
Doomsday Clock. Oh, dude, I read this and it felt like it was another chapter to the Watchmen.
Yes,
it was just like you're seeing the story continue now. Amazing, and I am also just blown away. DC is doing some great things as far as writing. They're making thought-provoking stories. They're not just taking characters and finding a way to deal with them. They are digging. They are trying to find the roots of something new, and I think they have. This is a great way to do things,
And I think we're going to see a lot of these coming up because Vertigo just completely reset.
Mm-hmm.
So everything coming out in Vertigo now is going to be, I believe, all brand new. I think there's only like one or two titles that are going to stay unchanged, but everything else, I'm willing to bet they're going to move over to the DC universe. So it wouldn't shock me if we saw a whole lot more crossovers and character introductions like this.
Well, you do see in this book some reveals to that. And
yes.
That is, I mean, you can go watch another video of spoilers if you want, but I highly recommend surprising the shit out of yourself and reading this book. And The Batman Who Laughs,
yeah,
probably one of the best comics I've read this year.
It's good.
Just because
really
it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's one where fear begets fear.
Don't let your kids read it. It's terrible.
No.
It's terrible.
It's heartbreaking.
You don't want to see Batman like that.
Mm-mm.
Doomsday Clock was amazing. All this, all this has been impressive reading material. I've got a couple of books I didn't get to read, and I'm getting on them, but these books just astounded me. Every single one of them.
And, the Dark Knight's Metal tie-ins are bringing back a lot of the more obscure characters, but cult favorites. Mr. Terrific's coming back. He's playing... He's not playing second fiddle anymore. He's right there in the mix. And one of my favorites, Dr. Fate, is back, and he's playing a huge integral part.
Oh, yeah, he's popping people out of existence and popping them somewhere else.
His little pocket universe.
Yeah. Oh, man. Dude, this...
DC is who's got it right now.
And I will say, if you're worried about, getting hooked, they're not going to lay a huge storyline on you and hook you for, extended periods. They're not going to try and, lead you on into a story. You get, with comics nowadays, you get a 4-issue story arc, roughly.
Most of the time.
DC, sometimes they do continue their stuff quite a bit, but as the characters evolve, they always go through an episode, which is like 3 or 4 issues.
Yeah.
So you can dedicate your time to that episode. Oh, it has this other character or whatever. I want to check that out. And you read it and you're happy. Okay, they went on with their things, and I'm going to go back over this way.
Well, it's still yet to be seen if Doomsday Clock is going to be monthly or weekly. Because if it's weekly, it'll be over in 3 months. But if it's monthly, it's going to be a year.
I would say drag it out over a year.
Yeah, an event this large, I think it deserves it.
You would get more sales. You would be able to have the quality and people are itching for this, but at the same time they're getting this beautiful shit right here. Jesus, it was psychotic. But no, I think if they drag this out over the year, it would be great.
Yeah,
you know, it would keep people hooked, but they're not being bombarded with it. Right now, they're being bombarded with the metal. I think Doomsday Clock needs to be the sleeper.
I think bi-weekly would really split that difference.
To 6 months.
It's not a constant onslaught, but it's not having to wait a whole year, because that's not really a DC style either. They don't like dragging stuff out that long. So I don't know. It's all up in the air at the moment.
Oof. Yeah, this was some good reading.
It was. This was very good reading. But thank you guys so much for watching. You saw the sponsors right there at the very beginning of the video. Appreciate all you guys for watching, and huge thank you to our local comic book stores for carrying such sweet, sweet reads.
Mm-hmm.
Carrying.
Caring. They care.
They do care.
They care about getting you your sweet, sweet comic books.
And I went to my local comic book store, and there was a book that came out, Zach Kaplan's Port of Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I go over to the shelf to where it was supposed to be new, and sold out. It's like, oh man, hey man, I need to order this book. I'm meant to tell you about it, and I forgot about it. Well, what is it? The Port of Earth. You sure it's not in your box? No, it's not on my sub list. Hang on, let's check your box.
And he got you one.
Yeah.
He knew you were going to ask for it.
Yep. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you next week.